Welcome to Keep What You Earn, your judgment and jargon free zone for entrepreneurs of all levels. Get ready to learn how to scale your business, save money in taxes, and create a business that grows your wealth. If it feels like the financial side of business is like eating your vegetables, well, then think of this podcast as the ranch dressing to make the process a little more enjoyable. My name is Shannon Weinstein. I'm a CPA and business owner on a mission to simplify money and empower others through knowledge. I hope this episode inspires you to take action, but remember that the information we share is for educational purposes only and is not individual tax advice. Now that we got that out of the way, let's start the show. I was reflecting the other day on how much things have changed in my business and in my life with regard to taking bigger risks. And if you had known me, say 10, 15 years ago, you would not you would not think I would be where I am today. You would not think I would be a business owner. I was super risk averse. I think that's kind of not necessarily the nature, but I think it's how accountants are trained. It's how we are taught. I think we see enough things go wrong. We see a lot of what can happen. It's almost like lawyers who can see when relationships go sour or, emergency personnel who can see when accidents happen. And as accountants, we see where a lot of financial things go wrong, and therefore we're super cautious. We just have more exposure, I think, to risks than most people. And because of that, we're aware of what can happen and we try to stay clear of it. So, on that note, I think I've really kind of flipped my mindset a bit at becoming an entrepreneur and really embraced the idea that in order to reap a reward, in order to get what you want out of life and get the most experience out of it, you have to be willing to take risks and you have to be willing to invest financially. You have to be willing to really put your lifestyle on the line for the thing that you want. And what I'm seeing a lot of entrepreneurs doing is you're trying to have it both ways, right? You're trying to have the steady cash flow salary and the massive upside in your business, or you're trying to, you know, have all this time and create boundaries and create resistance and make it harder in a sense for clients to get in touch with you or to find you. But you're also, you know, trying to grow, trying to expand, trying to sell, and trying to get more people enrolled, but you're blocking people from getting on your calendar. We're doing all of these contradictory habits. And what I found is that it really does, reward does follow risk in proportion. Sometimes disproportionately increases with correspondence to risk. And you can't have it both ways. You can't have all upside in a sense. Like you can experience a little bit of both, but I think that when I talk about the upside as a business owner, I'm talking about the ownership growth, the equity. So when you're growing a business, it's very difficult for you to simultaneously grow your equity and be able to take massive cash flow out of your business to pay for your lifestyle. I'll give you an example. Hey, real quick, are you learning anything in this episode that you think is share worthy? Well, if you could take a quick screenshot and share any of your biggest takeaways or quotes from this episode, post it to Instagram and make sure to tag me at Shannon K. Weinstein and at Keep What You Earn. Thank you so much for listening to the show. Let's dive back in. Let's say you own an apple orchard, right? And if you have an apple orchard and every day you go through the orchard and you pluck all the apples off the tree so that you can eat them with your family. You can go make pies and go make cider, whatever you're going to do, right? So you go and harvest all the apples. Someone comes along a week later and they say, I want to buy your orchard. And they offer you a price. Now, here's the issue. If there are apples on the trees, is it worth more or is it worth less to the buyer? It's worth more. So you can't harvest all the apples and still expect the same price that someone would pay you had the apples all been on the tree. And this is something I see business owners struggle with in the sense that they are pulling cash flow out of their business, but still expecting a high valuation for their business and still expecting to essentially profit and gain off of selling their business or, selling off a portion of it. They're really expecting that high value Meanwhile, they're extracting cash flow. And yes, a business that can extract a lot of cash flow is a high value business. A business that can sustain that is great. And I'm not discouraging you whatsoever from actually taking money out of your business. You should. You should pay yourself more, in fact, probably. But I want you to understand that by paying yourself more, which 100% I am in support of, you then cannot, or then you should not really expect that you're also going to have all of the upside of a business as though you reinvested back into the business. You can't take the money out and act like you didn't. That's all I'm trying to say. So, when you think about the mindset shift to an entrepreneur, if you're a newer entrepreneur, maybe you've been at it for a couple of years now, maybe you are an entrepreneur who got started and you haven't reached that level of scalability that you can, and you're really not sure what your business is worth or what you're planning on doing with your business. And I'll tell you, 100% pluck the apples from the trees because you got to feed your family. But you also can't expect to, sell the orchard for any more than what trees are worth, empty trees. So just keep that in mind. When you become an entrepreneur, you have to be willing to risk the high salary to get that later upside, or you have to be willing to risk that later upside for the salary now. There is no wrong way, there is no wrong answer. And although one could think, I don't want to limit my upside, I want my business to be high value and I'm willing to take those risks, you really have to consider what you need in order to maintain your lifestyle. And I would question if you need as much as you're taking out. I would question if you can downsize your lifestyle when you start a business a little bit to be able to get it off the ground. And I would encourage you to set some type of timeline. Like I always say, make a forecast and make a plan. Figure out when you'll be able to shift your lifestyle back bit by bit and when you'll be able to refocus on that cash flow. And I think that you'll be ultra successful if you're willing to really just be a little bit patient and wait. And I think that one thing you have to understand about valuing a business and growing a business is that you're not going to always be able to, you know, increase the value overnight. It's going to take time and you have to prove that there's sustainable growth, sustainable cash flow strength. So just keep that in mind as you go through that you want to make sure your business is healthy, you're maintaining its metabolism, if you will, and that you're always focused on the long term impact and whether or not you're really serving the best interests of yourself and the business with every single decision that you make. One of the fastest ways that digital business owners lose cash is not having a clean tech stack. And by that, I mean individual costs for email marketing platforms, CRM, community page, course creation platform, website designers, and all these things do add up. And it can be super hard to run a profitable business using all of these different systems. That's why I love Kajabi. Kajabi is your all-in-one solution that manages your business throughout the customer journey. From lead generation to taking payment and sending onboarding emails, we use Kajabi for everything. And you can try Kajabi for 14 days free by heading to trykajabifree.com or click the link below in the show notes. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating and review on your podcast platform. This small action goes a long way for podcasters to get our message heard by more business owners just like you. Be sure to check out the show notes for links to information about our guests and ways to get in touch with me. We'll see you on the next episode.